What is the scientific transformation that's happening? 'Cause I think it's still there. Look at that sauce. Check that out.
What is going on, glorious people? Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Food Fixers. This is a show where people just like you send in your food problems and we fix them for you.
Today on Food Fixers, we've got Marcel from Germany. He's struggling with some kitchen space issues.
He's got like 2 tiny burners.
Yeah.
You can't get 2 pots at a time.
And although this kitchen, we've got space, we've worked in many small kitchens, we've lived in many small kitchens, so we're gonna fix this problem. But first, let's see exactly what's going on.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Marcel from the channel Marcel in a Nutshell. I just saw you on Casey's video, which is really cool by the way, and it led me to your channel. I just had dinner and so my kitchen is a mess. As you can see, my kitchen is really small. And the only tools I have is this pen right here and this pen right there. And I'm having kitchen trouble with my hot plates because there's certainly not enough room for 2 pans. So when I'm making pasta, for example, what do I do first? The sauce, the noodles, or anything with 2 pans? You know, this is a real issue here. Well, and often it's like you're standing in front of the problem and you don't see the solution. Maybe I need yours to help me, finally. Greetings from Germany and bye-bye.
Legend.
Right.
Legend, Marcel.
Let's fix the food problem.
Definitely needs his own, he said he had his own channel, but I like his flow.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. So what we're gonna do for Marcel, a lot of people don't know this, but there's this thing called one-pot pasta. We're gonna do 2 different techniques. For me, I'm gonna do like a chicken parm pasta where I cook everything in the pan and the noodles are gonna actually cook with the sauce. So that's gonna save you on only having to have 1 pan.
So you're getting 2 different techniques. You're getting, you know, both one-potters, but Josh is putting everything into his pot. I'm gonna be cooking the noodles first. So Marcel, what he was asking is like, you know, do I cook the noodles first? Do I cook them second? It doesn't really matter. The cool thing about cooking is that you got to do what makes sense for you.
We're going to show you guys a couple options. Mike, you're going to get started on your thing.
So the first thing I'm going to do is we have a pot back here that's boiling, all right? This isn't the technique I would use if I had a ton of space, but because we're working with, you know, 1 pot, I'm going to get the noodles in there cooking. They're going to take about, you know, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. And then Josh is gonna start moving on
so
his.
Mike throws that in there. So mine's pretty interesting because, let's get this out of the way. Get this thing out of the way.
By the way, I'm using like, I don't know, half of these.
You're halving it
Just
up.
kind of feel it out.
There's a traditional concept when it comes to cooking that like you need to boil the pasta first in 1 pot, ton of water and all this stuff. Take it out, and then make your sauce, and then combine them all together. And like I think people tend to get kind of conditioned and stuck in these little worlds of has to be a way.
Yes.
So we're gonna kind of break the mold a little bit. Break your mind. Is this thing even on?
Oh, Josh, come on. Already screwing up Food Fixers. We're trying to fix problems, not fix our own problems.
My problems will never be fixed.
Don't.
Son of a, okay, dude.
I'm just gonna be prepping ingredients while Josh works on his dish.
So chicken parm is one of my favorite dishes of all time. Typically you're taking the chicken, you're breading it, you're frying it up, and you're serving it over some sauce, but I kind of wanted to make a chicken parm pasta where everything is cooked in 1 pot. And the beauty is you don't need as much cleanup. Like doing chicken parm is like 3 bowls of egg wash.
So you're doing the chicken first, and then you're gonna cook it the whole time?
Yeah.
So you're gonna cook the out of that chicken breast, is what you're saying?
Goddamn out of that breast.
All right, we already have issues here.
Yeah, we have
I'm
issues.
about to fix your problems, basically.
You can never fix my problems.
But the idea though, Mike, is that I'm gonna probably take the chicken out, maybe for a little bit,
Okay.
to get fixing my problems. But I want to saute the chicken first a little bit, just to get some flavor.
Okay.
So I'm actually just gonna, I'm just gonna go right in with some chicken. This is just chicken breast. You can use chicken thigh and a little garlic. I go all garlic in there. Why not? Take a little pan. Take this guy.
And you know, that's the thing. It's like if you go to culinary school, they're teaching you the proper way to make pasta, okay?
But what is proper? It's like one guy decided that was the way. And
But I'm saying the proper way in a proper kitchen, most people don't have proper anything. So we have to get creative and we have to break out of proper. And that's what you're gonna see here.
Same deal.
You're gonna see a little bit of it here, probably a lot more of it here, I could imagine.
Yeah, I'm not a proper guy.
This is the least proper guy.
Same thing I love with chicken, like I'll just season it right in the pan. Like why not? I get like you can let it sit and all this stuff, but to be completely honest, 9 times out of 10 when I'm cooking, like I'm not spending all day cooking, I'm throwing stuff in a pot and I'm making something delicious. So that's why I appreciate a dish like this.
The other thing I wanted to chat about too, which I saw in Marcel's video, was the sort of madness that was going on in his sink, in his kitchen.
Anti-cleanup experience.
Yeah, I feel like Marcel was definitely struggling with some of the cleaning action. So that is key. We're gonna try to stay clean the whole time. If you have a small kitchen, you can't be messing around. You have to stay clean. And that's just like whenever you have a second, you know, wash the dishes, wash whatever.
This is our little trick. We do this for a cooking show, but in general it's great. Have a bowl where you store all your food. And you can also, if you do composting, you can kind of separate it and stuff later, but have a place where you just sort of throw the things you need so you're not dealing with like too much mess. So I'm actually gonna take some onions, slice these guys up, and they're gonna go right in with the chicken. And what's cool is like, instead of having to prep everything out first, you just start cooking one thing, and then while that's cooking, you can be prepping the other stuff. You know, there's certain types of food that require like the pre-prep experience, but in a case like this, like I said, I don't want to have too much mess. I don't want to spend too much time. By the time the dish is done, everything's good to go. Yeah, and smells and food is fun, especially if you're not having to like slave away in the kitchen all day. And even if you like it, that's great. But
so
like,
you've got chicken
exciting.
in there. You've got onions and
chicken, onions, and some garlic.
All right, I like it. You said you're gonna take the chicken out, or is that not?
You know, I'm just gonna do, so here's the thing. I know you were worried about that, Mike, but the chicken is basically gonna slow poach in there. So it's gonna get, the chicken's gonna slowly cook
I like
in
the
there.
theory.
Yeah, so it's gonna get like nice and tender, theoretically. And listen,
like I said, I like the theory.
I like the theory
But
of
can
it
he
all.
pull it off?
Can the man pull it off? I mean, listen, you're absolutely welcome to take the chicken out, but I'm giving this a try. We'll see how it is, and if it turns out it was overcooked, then maybe I'll let you know.
So basically, you have to slow poach, considering you're putting the noodles in that same pot.
And that is, a lot of people do not realize that you can actually do that. And what's cool is it kind of gives the noodles a different experience. So I'm gonna put in some oregano.
Why does it give the noodles a different experience?
Because they're gonna be like cooking in a flavor bath, not just in water and then flavoring. So they're gonna soak up, theoretically, more flavor.
See, I'm here to call Josh out, because I know you guys are probably sitting behind the
He's
camera
gonna try to call
wanting
me out.
to.
It's not gonna work.
You just say these words like different experience. What does that mean?
I don't even know what different experience means.
By the way, I'm just prepping my ingredients. I have a simple pasta, just, you know, tomatoes, onions, garlic, all those classic ingredients. So you don't have to worry too much about that. Well, if you really want to know, I've got my whole entire dish. The base is tomatoes, onion, and garlic.
And you're not using canned tomatoes. So that's another trick.
We'll get to that later. You focus on your dish right now.
You go and do whatever the hell you gotta do. So I'm gonna be using, so
that looks good.
This is looking good. So what I'm gonna do now is take my,
I think the size of the chicken could be helpful for the tenderness, because if they were super small.
Don't act like I don't.
I think that was a lucky one right there. This
Yeah, no, it's a good point though.
happens
You want
to
to make
cut
sure the
them
chicken
huge.
is big enough.
So you just dumped a full-on diced tomato in there.
Yeah, I dumped a full can.
See, here's the thing. This is great, because the differences between what you're gonna see here and with fresh tomatoes, vastly different. But this to me is feeling chicken parm.
Chicken parm, right?
Like
And
it's looking chicken parm.
we're gonna go in with some noodles.
Wow.
And you know, like,
It's also looking very Josh, what you have.
you want to make sure that your pot is going to be deep enough. You know, this is kind of right on the edge of life right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the noodles right in the sauce.
It looked like Marcel had some big pans, but I think he just had like 15 pans.
You can do this in like a
small
pasta. The reason I'm using this and not a big pan is solely for cooking.
Yeah.
Because you want to, for a cooking show, you want to make sure you can actually see the stuff in there. But you could add a much bigger pan. So I'm gonna add some water in here now.
What's the ratio we have here? This is where...
About enough to enough.
Enough to enough.
Something.
Okay. So
Well, keep
it's
here's
it's
the
an
thing.
eyeball, it looks like.
It's an eyeball, but keep in mind, like, even with rice, I eyeball my rice, and sometimes I add not enough water, and you can still add water after. There's no, like, there's always this fear of it's got to be exactly right at the beginning, but don't believe all the hype.
I think I'm prepped already.
You're prepped?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna eat a piece of cheese because,
gonna eat
come
some
on,
cheese.
fresh parm.
So what my plan here is basically to cook this down. I'm gonna stir it around every once in a while. The noodles are gonna soak up the water.
Was there an herb in there?
There's some oregano. Noodles are gonna soak up the water, and then when it's finally cooking, I'm gonna top it with Parmesan breadcrumbs, and it's gonna be like this
Okay,
one
so you're
experience.
done.
I'm good.
All right, so what's gonna happen is Josh is gonna move to the back burner. I'm gonna come in, and you know what? I think it might be a perfect timing. I bet we're not quite there yet, but I didn't set a timer on these noodles. But here's the key for my dish, and this to me is like the ultimate goal when you're cooking pasta, is you wanna cook your noodles just a little bit under, all right? You want them a little chewy, a little undercooked, and then like Josh said, all of his noodles are in the sauce, so he doesn't have to worry about anything like that. I want to give the noodles a chance to absorb some sauce.
Yeah.
So
under
right
is
now,
better than over.
Where are the tongs?
I don't know, I asked you about the tongs.
I see them. We're offset. So I just want to basically taste for these noodles. You can see it right
Do you
here.
do the throw in the water, the wall effect? Do you ever do that kind of thing?
What the hell is the
If
throw
it
on the wall?
sticks. Yeah, if you throw them on the wall and they stick, apparently they're good.
Really?
That's like a thing.
So right now you taste that? What are you tasting to me?
I taste a little crunch.
That's too much crunch. I'm guessing they're at like 7 minutes. This video is probably 7, maybe 6 minutes right now.
Where do you want the burner, by the way?
That's fine.
Here? You want here?
Yeah, it's totally fine. So I'm gonna cook these for another minute. I'm gonna strain them, but another key, keep some of that liquid because that liquid is starchy goodness
Where do
right
you
there.
keep it?
I got a little setup over here. So when I strain it, I'm just gonna strain it into
this
a
wooden
bowl.
bowl? Is that?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's a wooden bowl. It can handle a little hot water.
Wait.
Are you freaking out that this wooden bowl is
Here's
gonna
my wood.
explode?
Is that your wooden bowl?
This is their wooden bowl.
We'll find out. Stay
Special
around.
people's wooden bowl. All right, so I'll give it just another minute over there, maybe less. And then we're still using one pot. So generally when I'm making pasta, I would cook the noodles later in another pot. I would have them separate. I would dump them right into the sauce, easy peasy. But we don't have that today. We don't have, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to
Don't we?
We're trying to get everything contained in one pot. So we've got to mix it up a little bit. So I'm good here.
You're good. I think the noodles are ready.
They're ready. So they are getting dumped in here. Remember to save some water for later.
And we're doing more like tomato type, pasta things, but you could also do a pesto. You could do more of a cream. Are you doing your cream sauce? No. You could add a little cream in there, like have fun with it. What I say is start simple, and then as you kind of get a little more confident, start adding different flavors. You could even do like a curried chicken, if you want to
This
switch
is
it up.
true. So what we're gonna do is dump some olive oil. So this is the same pan. Remember that. We're working with the same pan.
There's no
The
No
same
cleanup.
goddamn pan. So no cleanup. I dumped them off. I made sure that's dry. A good amount of olive oil in there because you want the lubrication for your onions.
Does
And then we're just
olive
gonna
oil
dump
make
it in.
good lubrication in general, would you say? I feel like people use olive oil for like their skin. They
Where
use
you
it
going?
For their hair.
What type
the
of
point
lubrication?
is, like we're in the kitchen, but you extend the kitchen. to the other
WD-40
place.
lubrication
No, you
or
don't know that. No, I mean, it's olive oil. I think people. There's so many cooking ingredients these days that are getting turned into like skincare products and all this stuff. So
this is true.
if you buy a good bottle of olive oil, you can do all kinds of stuff with it.
We've got an infomercial on our hands now. All right,
That's right,
so
ladies and gentlemen.
we have our onions and we're just gonna really get those sort of sweated down. We wanna bring out a lot of those sugars. There's the garlic in there. We can help it on its way with just a little, is this salt, Josh?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, this is
That
pink salt.
So when people say sweating down, because a lot of viewers out there might need a little fix on that.
So there's like, when you're sweating something, you're cooking it down, but you're getting the translucency. You're not getting actual color.
Caramelization. Wait,
Yes,
so it's just a
caramel,
different
think caramel, like when you caramelize,
sugars.
you're caramelizing the sugars. So when you turn sugar into caramel, it gets colorful. it turns brown, it turns golden.
And it shifts the color. That's the point. So I guess the point is people might not know why you would sweat something versus caramelize it.
I think with caramelizing, you know, I'm no expert here, but it's just a different flavor. It's like you're still bringing out the sugars, but with caramelizing, you're really getting like a deep, richer flavor.
Okay.
What are you distracted or something?
Well, I was like, should we shut that window?
It's fine.
Okay. All right. We got New York City sounds all around us. Yeah, and Mike is exactly right. He was just guessing, but.
We're probably both wrong, so I don't know what
so
you're talking about.
When you're sweating vegetables, you're basically taking out just like the flavor and the essence and the aroma.
Why'd you even ask me?
And when you're
Man, why'd you even ask me?
Because I assumed you know. So,
Can
when
you
you're
help me
caramelizing
here?
something, it's getting a little more sweet.
All right.
What do you
Enough
need?
with the bullshit meter. We're gonna be slicing
Just like
these.
half, just half.
Yeah. Why don't we go quarters?
Where the hell did my knife go?
All right. So this brings up sort of like one of the main points of my pasta. You're not even putting a lid on yours.
Yeah, I thought about it. And then
There
I
is a
stopped
lid
thinking
for
about
that.
It. Took a minute, thought about it, stopped thinking about it, good to go.
First of all, another good tip: if you're making pasta out of season, don't buy big tomatoes that have no flavor. A little hack is to buy cherry tomatoes. They're usually going to have a little more sweetness, a little more flavor, and you're going to be able to get a good sauce out of it.
Yeah, infinite possibilities here, folks. I did not put a lid on this. I did think about it, but one thing I should mention is that you want to make sure you stir it every minute or so, because the pasta with the starches will stick to the bottom. So that is something that's importante. I have a lid.
I feel like the lid. You're going to lid it at a certain point.
Yeah, I'm gonna lid it eventually,
Okay.
but I want to get some of that liquid
get it
cooked
started.
out. Yeah.
So here's the thing about my pasta sauce, okay? A lot of people are scared of fresh tomatoes, but you do not have to be. I remember when I first started, cooking pasta, I started with the canned tomatoes. Then I moved into the fresh tomatoes. I was looking things up, and it's like, you gotta boil them and like slice them and peel them. You don't have to do any of that. Tomato skin, it's totally fine. Yes, you can peel your tomatoes and do this, the boiling technique and all that, but it's not necessary. I make pasta, once a week, and I do it just like this. I cut up fresh tomatoes and I put it in, some onions and some garlic like this, and you're good
going
to
in with
go.
them?
Question, did you put chili in yours?
No.
Okay, I want a little spice. Do we have a little spice?
I do, not for this video, but
Can I get a little bit of
It's
that?
gonna cost you 25 cents.
John, why don't you come over here to our table of ingredients. I see it.
I love blackberries.
Shaboom, shaboom.
Wait a second.
That is another thing I love in my pasta is that combination of
Shaboom and shaboom.
sweet and spicy. So you got a little sweetness from the cherry tomatoes, and then just a little bit of that kick from. You don't mind if I use all this?
I guess not. I mean, I don't have a choice, do I?
I'll just use about this much chili.
Whoop. One benefit to shooting this place is there's a market across the street. So, worst case, we go over there.
Ow.
Burning.
All right.
Burning.
So you can see there's really not much color. There's some color on the pan, but not too. I mean, this is definitely higher heat, but I'm trying to get this going for the video. But those are becoming a little more translucent. They're going to be a lot sweeter.
Tomato time.
Smell time. Smell is good. All right, going with the tomatoes.
I'm seeing some color in there.
Going with the tomatoes.
And as you're adding other things, it's gonna bring the temperature down a little bit. So just keep that in mind. If you're feeling like, oh my God, the garlic's starting to burn, throw in the tomatoes. The liquid of the tomatoes is gonna cool everything down and will stop the burnage.
This is true.
We get the burnies.
As far as the amount of tomatoes goes, I think
What I do appreciate, Mike, about this style is
that it's a lot.
Is that I don't have to do anything? No. No, with tomatoes, like in pastas, when you get like cherry tomatoes and they're kind of cooked down, you get so much umami because tomato has a lot of umami, which is like a savory flavor. So when you cook them more whole, same with like roasting tomatoes, and you bite into them, you get this really cool flavor.
I love it.
explosion.
I don't make canned. I mean, it's nice that you're showing that, but I've kind of
You're off the can.
I've
Oh,
elevated
you think
out
you're above the can.
I'm so above
this
the
guy
can
thinks he's
right
above the
now.
can. Highfalutin beyond the can.
But
Nothing wrong with canned.
it's just there's so much flavor you can get from this, and it's really simple. I think canned tomatoes just has a totally different taste.
Different experience, yeah.
It's a totally different thing. So what we're gonna do right here, we're gonna cook that down, and the tomato is gonna start to seep out some of that juice. Once it starts seeping out, they're gonna cook down, and we're gonna create our sauce right out of this. You don't have to add anything else. We can even like smash it down to release a little more juice.
What the hell's this for then?
You'll see later.
You'll
see
I
later.
don't think so. So my pasta's almost getting done, so I'm just taking some basil. And some people cook basil like right into the sauce, and I would say like if it's gonna be dried, that's cool. But I personally prefer to just throw it in at the very end because it actually just sort of releases the freshness. Because if you're boiling basil, you might mess with that delicate glorious flavor.
I agree. I'm doing the same thing, and that's definitely something you learn over time. It's just like there's different types of herbs. Like Josh threw in the oregano early on in the process because that can handle the heat.
It's like rosemary and thyme, you know. They're.
It's like honestly, basil's so good raw that you just want it to perfume the whole entire dish. You don't need to cook it.
No.
It's like just give it that extra fresh bite at the end, and it's gonna elevate your
Give it a
pasta.
go. Let's see how this is doing.
So I'm just smashing these up. Just you can see, like, look at that incredible. We're building a great sauce right here, and we can, if we need more liquid at any point, like this is concentrating. If we ever need more liquid, we have it from the pasta liquid, which is great.
Holy taste.
But I'm just kind of smashing it just to really break down those tomatoes. If I had longer, they would naturally break down, but this will just speed up the process a little bit.
So this pasta's just about done. I gave it a little taste.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's quick, man.
Wow, we're coming in at good timing right now.
Coming in hot. I just want to make sure I got enough salt. Stuff like soaks up salt. Starchy things, like they eat salt for breakfast.
They just eat it? Where does it go? They just literally digest it.
I mean,
and
if
poop
you
it
ever
out?
season a potato, it takes like.
I know, but the
times
question
a
is, where's it going?
I don't know. It transforms into kinetic
going
energy
right
or
in.
something. I don't know.
What is the
Ketones.
scientific transformation that's happening? 'Cause I
Kinetic
think it's
energy?
still there. Look at that sauce, John. Check that out. Kidding me? See that? That's red tomatoey gold. All right.
All right, I'm
so there's
pretty
just
much-
a few that I want to smash up.
So you're pretty much done. Like you're.
There's actually a few more things. So I just wanted to.
Holy screw it.
Okay, so since we're doing one pot pasta, what I like to do is you could totally keep it tomato and just go straight up. Like that's what, you know, the Italians would do. They would not add much, but I like adding more. Like if you're cooking for the week, if you're cooking for dinner, it's nice to have a little more substance. So the thing is, we have to figure out different vegetables that can go straight into here, that don't need to be cooked in a separate pan, like a zucchini or something. So my two favorites, especially now, because they're in season, is just a little bit of corn. I seriously just take this, shave it right off. And this is fresh summer corn, so you might not have this where you're from in your country, but this stuff is good raw. Like I eat this in salads, so it doesn't really need to cook much.
Is in there.
It can cook, and then I take the edge and just
Give it a little.
try that. Incredible. And then the last thing is just, again, finding vegetables that can be thrown right in there, just to add a little more substance. I'm just adding some spinach. And that's just gonna wilt down. You don't need to cook it too long. And bada boom, you've got a beautiful.
All right, so while that's happening, John, come follow me over here, good sir. So this is done. I'm actually turning the heat off. There's like a tiny bit of cookage left to happen, but there's so much heat in the pan that that's just gonna do its thing. So what I wanna do is kind of build this little cool top experience. So first I'm gonna take some basil in there, slip that right in, stir that around. That's the green, red, you know, stop and go at the same time. Okay.
Oh, you're building a top experience, are you?
Top experience. What is a top experience, some might say? Okay, so that goes in. Lovely. Then I got some breadcrumbs. I'm using panko because I appreciate the crunch. I'm gonna do a little bit right on top. They're gonna soak up, it's gonna be layered. So these are gonna soak up some of that flavor in the tomato sauce. Tomato sauce. Okay, beautiful. Then, take these nice chunks of mozzarella. And you could do like, shredded mozzarella, whatever you want. I'm kinda go right for the glory. Squeeze these a little bit because they're chubby bunnies, like so.
Wow. That is a top experience if I've ever seen it.
Oh yeah.
That's looking like
a
full-on top experience.
Full-on top experience. And then we're gonna go with a little bit more of the breadcrumbs. And that's just gonna add some crisp because we're not adding any crisp to the chicken. Okay, beautiful. And then I'm just gonna lid it real quick.
You know what? And
Residual
why don't you
heat.
come over here, Jonathan? So yes, we're going back and forth action. Okay, check this out. All I added was just a little bit. I've got my pasta water here. I did add just a tiny splash of that, maybe, I don't know, less than a quarter cup. And that right there is becoming just the perfect consistency. So you'll see this and you'll see this transform because once that slightly undercooked pasta goes in there, it's going to completely coat it and soak up into the noodles. I'm just adding a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and this is all gonna come together right now. All right, I'm gonna grab my pasta over here. And this is even still hot, so I'm happy about that. Oh,
Did you mean to do
I
this?
just don't think I need that much. Let's see, I'll take a little. It's all about getting the proper ratios of sauce to pasta because the last thing you want is pasta that's under-sauced. All right, so now I'm gonna move to the tongs and we're just gonna let that soak. So watch this transformation over the next, I would say 3 minutes, 4 minutes of cooking in here. This pasta is going to completely change. It's going to soak in. See that sauce? You can see it on the bottom. That's not gonna be existent in about 3 minutes. And then the final two things I'll do is I'll dump some fresh basil, like we said, fresh basil, save that for the end, and then just hit it with some parm, micro grate that in.
Oh yeah, so I gotta add to mine. I gotta add some parm too.
You wanna add some parm? What's this? This is partially for your
That's
top
parsley.
experience.
Okay.
But come on, look how good this looks. And really the key is just, again, getting that, see like there's sauce there, okay? If you get in there, that sauce, we don't want that at the bottom of the pan. We want that coating the noodles. And if you give that another minute, it happens quick.
Because you added the starch water.
A little bit of starch water. It's all about the ratios, just letting that, pasta's just this perfect harmony of, of timing and consistency.
Look at that.
Wow.
I'm gonna do a little cheese it if you got it.
That is awesome. These noodles are done?
Oh yeah.
Holy dude. You're gonna broil that, I hope.
No broil. The guy didn't even have an oven.
You did it?
I would listen. You could broil it. I would broil it if I had
Come on.
the oven, but no broil. I was hoping we had a little flame torch.
All right, here you go. So another, 30 seconds down. Now look. See, we're losing that sauce. It is just
We're not losing
completely,
it.
just like the salt. The noodles are just
They're losing.
sucking it in and digesting
Matter
the sauce.
cannot be created or destroyed. It's always somewhere, right?
All
That was
right.
great. I think we're pretty good to go. You got
Hold
your
on.
basil?
Yeah, I'm pretty much, I just need another minute, I would say, on this. So
we
what's your
break?
deal? You're just, no need to break,
No
I
need to
think.
break? Okay, I'm just gonna serve this up then. Oh,
That's lunch
heaven.
right there.
Beautiful.
But come on, the broil?
I mean, the
all
broil
that
would be great. We
crispy.
don't have a broil set up, so it's okay.
Disappointing.
We're gonna plate this one up.
All
just gonna
right,
take this
you
and
see,
kinda-
here we go. Now, there you go, it's gone. See that? That sauce is pretty much non-existent. It has absorbed. The noodles are most likely, at the perfect spot. Last thing we're gonna do is just rip up some basil. You can just tear that in fresh, making sure you don't get too many stems. And this just, when you tear it, you release that perfume. But again, we don't need to cook this. We just need to kind of melt it in. Wow.
Come on.
We did good here, all right? And then hit it with the good stuff. It's cool because very similar dishes, but also extremely different. Kind of like us, Josh, right? Similar but so
not
different.
similar at all.
All right, and then this will be the last. And
plate or
remember,
something?
that parm will add your last bit of seasoning. Just the saltiness of the parm.
What are you thinking here?
Holy sh! Let's try to plate this up.
Doing the twist.
That's one thing. What do you do? Yeah, what do you do to plate up pasta? You twist it?
I think so.
We need to get the good stuff, though.
Turn this off for you.
Thank you. Wow.
Little parsley.
I love it. Completely different techniques. Both tomato-based pasta.
Look totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
Taste.
This really is like
Let's
the
start
Josh
yours.
versus the Mike. Very
this
similar
guy.
humans, but so different.
Very different. We like the same things, but we came from the same place. Very different. Just because you've been cooking and you're excited, do not burn your tongue. That will ruin a dish. I repeat, do not burn your tongue.
You're right, getting those flavor blast umami tomatoes.
Oh yeah, that's spaghetti. No,
The
no
al
wonder people
dente.
like spaghetti.
Al dente. It's perfect.
This one, try. Oh Lord, the full bite. Let's see here. Ciccione.
Probably could use a little more salt.
Yeah, you can always listen. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. If you taste a dish and it needs more salt, don't be depressed. Add it. Add the salt.
Don't be depressed. They're so different. This is a little more refined. The flavors are a little more delicate. And you know, like if you ever had a chicken parm sandwich or just a chicken parm in general, it's a blast like that. Like the flavors are much more pungent. And you're gonna get that difference between canned sauce versus fresh sauce too.
Well, Marcel, we hope this helped you. Folks out there, we hope this helped you as well. Send in your food fixes. Click the link below. There'll be an email below where it will tell you to send it. If we choose your video, you get a $50 gift card to Amazon. So pretty dope. Buy whatever you need.
Subscribe to Brothers Green, of course. Keep cooking. That's the most important thing. You know, don't be discouraged if you have problems. You can easily solve them yourself. We're just here to, you know, encourage you a little bit, help you along the way. So see you next time on Food Fixers.